What if I told you that instead of staying in a regular hotel in Stockholm, you could actually sleep on a 100-year-old yacht?
Woo!
And this isn't a replica or a hotel designed to look like a ship. This is a real historic vessel with a rather fascinating past. We stayed here during our trip to Stockholm, so let me show you what it's actually like to spend the night aboard Mälardrottningen. And one of the best things about this stay is actually the location. Mälardrottningen is permanently moored at Riddarholmen, right in the heart of Stockholm, and only a few minutes walk from Gamla Stan, the old town. So although staying on a yacht sounds like something you'd have to travel out of the city for, you're actually incredibly central. But before I show you our cabin, you need to know what we were actually sleeping on, because this ship has had quite a life. She was built in 1924 for American millionaire C.K.G. Billings, and at that time was the world's largest diesel-driven yacht. The ship was later bought by Frank W. Hutton, and his daughter Barbara Hutton, the famous Woolworth heiress, received the yacht as an 18th birthday gift. And here's where the story gets even more interesting. Barbara Hutton later sold the vessel to the British Royal Navy for just £1. During the Second World War, it served with the Royal Navy, and in later years, the ship had several completely different lives, including being used as a training ship and a passenger vessel. Eventually, it came to Stockholm and has been at this location since 1982. So when you're walking through these corridors, you're not staying in a modern hotel pretending to have a maritime theme. You're actually inside a piece of history. Now let's actually go aboard. The moment you walk across the gangway, it feels completely different from entering a normal hotel. The narrow passages, stairs, portholes, and all those little maritime details constantly remind you that you're on an actual ship. And then it was time to find our cabin. Was it spacious? No. Was it comfortable for us? Yes. And probably the question I'd have before booking something like this. Can you actually feel that you're sleeping on a boat? For us? Well, check it out by yourself. Pretty small room with the bunk beds, one on top of another, and there's the view is good. Yes, pretty good. You see, this is the Stockholm. Gamla Stan is there on the other end. So yes, and the bathroom. After visiting Japan, I always see what this bathroom would offer me. It's not disappointing, but yeah, shouldn't be comparing. It's pretty functional. Yeah, this one, and then there is a shower, and that's it. I mean, that's all about this room. It's pretty neat. I've stayed in yachts and boats before, and I think this is pretty much of a big one when it's not a ship, but a boat or a yacht. The first thing you need to understand is that this is a ship cabin, not a conventional hotel room, so don't come expecting a huge bedroom. It's compact, but honestly, that's part of the experience. But waking up surrounded by water in the middle of Stockholm definitely made this feel much more memorable than another ordinary city hotel. And of course, if you have watched my channel before, you know there is another question I always have about a hotel. What are we going to eat? As vegans, breakfast was quite simple for us. We usually start with soaked nuts and fruit, and we found enough plant-based options here to put together a satisfying breakfast. We also had a long sightseeing day ahead, so we asked the reception if it was okay to prepare a few sandwiches from breakfast and carry them with us for later. They were completely fine with it. And I really appreciated that flexibility because it meant we could spend the day exploring Stockholm without planning our sightseeing around, our next meal. But perhaps the biggest reason I'd consider staying here again is the location. Step off the yacht and you're already in historic central Stockholm. Gamla Stan is only a few minutes away, so we could walk straight into the old town and start exploring. And then at the end of the day, instead of returning to a regular city hotel, you're walking back across a gangway onto this. So would I recommend Mälardrottningen? If you love unusual accommodation, history, and staying somewhere with a story, absolutely consider it. But you also need to remember what you're booking. You're staying aboard a historic vessel, so cabins can be compact and the experience is very different from a modern spacious hotel. I'd choose it because how often do you get to say you slept on a historic yacht? For us, Mälardrottningen wasn't simply somewhere to sleep between sightseeing days. It actually became one of our Stockholm experiences. You get the history, the water, an amazing central location, and something completely different from a standard hotel stay. So if you're heading to Stockholm and you like unusual places to stay, this is definitely one to put on your list. And if you're planning Sweden, I've also shared our complete 4-day Sweden itinerary and a separate guide to traveling vegan from Stockholm all the way to Swedish Lapland. Subscribe to Travel with Shreya for more unusual stays, vegan food, and travel experiences around the world. See you in the next one.